1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are back with the TMCJ podcast. We are on episode 11, Blue, and we're doing it an hour
11.
earlier.
Oh my, is it an hour earlier? Oh yeah, yes. Man.
It's more than an hour earlier than usual.
I've been awake since midnight, alright? I have no idea what time it is.
What time is it over there right now?
It's currently just coming up to 1 p.m.
Okay.
So,
Just for reference, we usually record these around 9 a.m. Eastern time on a Saturday, and it's currently 7:40. So.
Yeah, we actually got our shit together this morning.
Indeed.
So, launching straight into it, what is...
So,
I'm curious to know what the topics are.
Topics, that right off the bat, so this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and that is celebrities being cringy.
This sounds like an interesting... I know very little about celebrities.
So you may or may not know, there's an election going on in the U.S.
Right.
And
between Donald Duck and whoever the other one is.
Yeah, that's exactly what their names are. Donald Duck and whoever the other one's name is. So, recently, and this always happens, whenever
Bidet? Is that his name? Sorry, no.
Bidet. I don't know, this sort of thing always happens whenever there's some big topic that's covering all the news in the U.S. at least, and I assume it probably happens abroad as well. But celebrities come out of the woodwork and start talking to everyone like anyone gives a shit what they think.
Right.
And so the most
so
recent
they
one,
taking sides?
Sometimes they take sides, sometimes they don't take sides, but they always just want attention. So I'll give you a perfect example. This is the one that made me want to put the topic on here. So because of the whole COVID situation, mail-in ballots are becoming more of a thing here. More people aren't wanting to go to the polling stations to vote, so they're mailing in votes. But most people are idiots and fill the things out wrong. So what the celebrities did, and on the surface, I'm like, okay, it's a PSA to tell people how to fill these things out properly. Yeah. But the way they did it was so just, it was peak cringe. A bunch of random celebrities did the PSA naked.
What?
It's a YouTube video. It's a compilation
How is that
of
allowed
a bunch
on
of different
YouTube?
celebrities telling you how to fill out these forms naked.
What? How did they get away with that?
I don't know. I think they blur out the bits, but
what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
It doesn't. But again, and I think I looked into the video and I did what you never should do, and I looked at the comments below a YouTube video, and one of the top comments below it was, it was just celebrities when no one pays attention to them for a month, and it's like,
damn,
yeah, they just.
I'm just imagining like Ellen DeGeneres doing some pro Trump video, and the caption is just, grab him by the pussy.
Oh my god.
Oh, shit, might have to blank that actually.
If I remember to. I barely remember to edit these. Doesn't matter. But
yeah.
No, there was and it was just random celebrities. I can't. The guy that played the Hulk was in there. Sarah Silverman was in there. It wasn't just women, it was men and women. And young and old.
Isn't he? Like, this has been proven time and time again that the person who plays the Hulk is not smart. Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo, I think his name is.
Yeah.
I don't know. But celebrities in general, I don't know. It's like there was a comedian I heard one time that said this, and it's like celebrities have basically no business telling people anything outside of how to act or how to make movies, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's like if just because they're famous doesn't mean that their opinions actually matter on things that they know nothing about.
Yeah.
So it's like, just I don't understand why people listen to them, and I don't understand. Well, I know why they make videos like that. They want attention.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just
it's kind of like a fucked up ice bucket challenge. It sounds like.
Except that one actually involved like getting people to donate to charity. This was just an excuse for celebrities to get their tits out.
Pardon me. Yeah, I mean, hell, it just sounds, I don't know, awful. I haven't heard anything about this, weirdly enough, so which I'm surprised by, because,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean it's
YouTube.
yeah, well, exactly. I don't know. Maybe they thought you being over in the UK, you weren't interested.
Well, I saw a thumbnail earlier today of of Mark Ruffalo, something about him being incredibly stupid, but I didn't click on it because it just sounded a bit too generic.
I think he said something else. Like he's become very. He's one of those celebrities that I think tends to rant and rave a lot on Twitter about anything. Because I
God,
feel like
Twitter is just the worst.
well, we talked about this when I think
We did
social
last
media
time.
was it last last time we were talking about social media. But yeah, Twitter is just what the way I described it, and I still stand by this, is it's like you log into Netflix and you start scrolling and scrolling and scrolling through shows, but you never actually watch anything. That's Twitter.
Yeah, it's always the worst when you. Anyway, that's a completely different thing. Yeah. So. Okay. So. Is it actually affecting anything? Are people actually?
Oh, I doubt it. Because A, it would require people to actually give a crap what these celebrities think, and B, it would require for people to actually listen to what they were saying and not looking at the naked people.
Right? Like, it's kind of distracting, I imagine. I mean, can you imagine trying to do like a maths exam with your teacher just with his knockers out in front of you?
I think I think I'd just take the F and leave.
Yeah, just fucking eat the paper.
I'm thinking of the math teachers I had in high school, and there's not a single one of them I would like to see naked.
I can't even remember my maths. Oh yeah, I can. Oh god, yeah, no, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
But yeah, there was that. And whenever something like this happens and celebrities do this, it inevitably gets mocked relentlessly. One of my favorite examples of this is a few years back. There was the whole push because there was like within a few months of each other, there was kind of a rash of kids and school shootings, right? And
right, okay.
celebrities came out and they did this again. Bunch of random celebrities. They did this PSA where it was like black and white video, somber music, hushed tones, and they just listed off the names of the schools, and it came across as such I don't know, like again I can see the thinking behind it. They were trying to do something good, trying to bring awareness to something bad that's happening, but
Yeah.
they did it in such a over the top, dramatic way that it just came across as disingenuous. And this is my favorite part about it. It got mocked relentlessly. They took a clip from that and look it up. You can find it pretty easily. It's just look up Jedi Temple meme because they edited in like it's them listing off like
Oh, the Padwans or something.
yeah, they're listing off schools, right? And it's like, one celebrity's like, Fort Hood, another celebrity's like Aurora, and then it cuts, and then it's Emperor Palpatine in the same setup as the rest of them, photoshopped in, and he's like, Jedi Temple. It just,
Jesus.
it's a dark joke, but
Yeah.
you're.
I know what you mean. An example has to be made that this shit doesn't happen again, kind of thing. Like a more recent example, where companies or celebrities or things try and capitalize on. Well, not even capitalize. They're just trying to show their support, but they don't think about it enough before they make an action. Was that during the Black Lives Matter thing? A lot of people were posting those pictures of just a black square.
Oh yeah, yep.
And there were companies getting utterly roasted over it. I know there was climbing company called Black Diamond, I think it was.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, they posted that and then like instantly got hundreds of people saying, well, how much did you donate to their cause, kind of
Right,
thing.
exactly. Is this just your marketing department, or are you actually doing anything?
Yeah, and I kind of in two minds because yeah, it's trying to be trendy, it's trying to do whatever is happening at the current time, and it is what it is. At the same time, though, they are still showing that they are aware of the issues in the world, and they are kind of spreading the message. So I don't know. I don't think it's worth a lot of the hatred that came out of people being like, "You don't have the right to say this because you haven't done enough."
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a two-way sword.
It is, and that's why I don't know. My personal stance has always been, if you're a celebrity or if you're a company. Well, actually, no. Celebrities, okay, they're individuals. They can do stuff. They can participate. That's perfectly legit. They're people too. They can go out and, volunteer or donate or, put out a little PSA on their own saying, hey, I want to bring awareness to this cause or something like that. That's cool. The problem I have is when they get into these high production value, it's clearly there was a marketing team and a producer and a director behind these things. It's like, this isn't a movie. Just stop. The other
don't over dramatize.
And companies in general, unless your company is directly involved in something, you need to shut the fuck up. I hate it when, say, I don't know, like a candy bar company comes out and they start lecturing people about social issues or politics. It's like, shut the fuck up. Just sell me candy.
Yeah, it's people branching into realms that they're not aware of. Yeah, like us on this podcast.
Yeah, this should be noted that this is not, none of these opinions or statements are made with any sort of relevant qualifications. This is just two random yahoos spouting off bullshit.
Our take on it, and we don't want people listening to anything that we say. We don't want you to take it as gospel, because we're just as clueless as anyone else, and if something means enough to you, you should go out and research it yourself and draw your own conclusions.
Right. And if it means enough to you, then you shouldn't be listening to us anyway.
Yeah.
In general, just on the topic, if you're really passionate about something, go out, do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Don't let your dreams be memes.
Oh my god. What a brilliant opening.
Man, does that mean I put Shia Labouf in the thumbnail now?
Oh god. Shia LaBeouf.
That's all I needed.
Fucking Shia LaBeouf.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
What is that guy up to these days? His whole career was just fascinating to me.
It was 2005 that he was big, wasn't it?
Well,
Something
so
like that. Not 2005, 2015.
It was even before. So I've actually he first got his break on a Disney Channel TV show called Even Stevens, where he played a, I don't know, kind of schlubby younger brother to his prim.
I've heard of it. I've not seen it.
I saw it as a kid. Actually, it was a pretty good show. It was pretty funny.
Oh wait, is that the? Oh, maybe I have seen it. I think
he might
have shown me it.
So he was Shia LaBeouf played this younger schlubby brother who was kind of a mediocre student, kind of a generic teenage boy, where his sister was the older prim and proper honors student, and it was the two of them clashing, and it was a sitcom. Right. It was a sitcom.
Okay, no, I haven't seen it. I'm looking it up now, but I haven't seen it.
When did it come out?
God, he looks so young.
When did that come out? Does it say?
It says June 17th, 2000.
Oh, okay. God, 20 years old. All right, so I would have been 12 when that was airing.
Final episode date 2003.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I watched it when I was I guess it would have been just before I went into high school. But I remember seeing him in that, and then he disappeared off my radar for a few years, and then he showed up playing the main character in the Transformers movies.
Yeah, that's what I know him from,
and he was in the fourth Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, he was the little kid, wasn't he?
Yep.
Oh shit. Okay, so I'm looking at Shia LaBeouf. By the way, his Google like standard image does look a bit dead behind the eyes. But underneath that, it says people also ask what happened to Shia LaBeouf. July 8th, 2017. LaBeouf is handcuffed and arrested at 4 a.m.
Well, that happens all the time.
Georgia hotel. Charged with public drunkenness, disorderly conduct, and obstruction.
Yeah, do you want the
Basically
whole story?
Just being an ass.
He got drunk and went to a theatrical performance, sat down at some random person's table, started drinking there, offered to give them a drink, then got up and started shouting at the stage.
Yeah. And then he said something quite racist by the sounds of it.
Oh, yeah, who knows what he... But anyway, yeah, so he had like some kind of a mental breakdown a few years back. And then he kind of came back and went back and forth. Like, he's... Guys had an interesting career as an adult, to say that, if you can call it that. He did a few big, high production, high like profile movies, and then he kind of fell off the radar and started doing all this indie art shit. I don't know. He's an interesting enough person that I've kind of every now and again checked in to see what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
I say after saying that people shouldn't pay attention to celebrities.
He's unique. Yeah, but you don't follow the things that he does.
Oh, of course
you don't
not.
take off of him. Yeah. I think it's good to learn from the examples of famous people.
And don't
Do you
get me
know what
wrong.
I mean?
There are some celebrities that I have a lot of respect for the way they comport themselves, because some celebrities, they go out there and they're just, bouncing off the walls, doing whatever the hell, partying and causing mayhem and saying stupid shit. But other ones actually seem to be more grounded and have decent opinions.
Yeah, I mean...
Morgan Freeman's a good example of that. Like, if you ever heard him talk, like, in interviews and stuff, and heard some of his thoughts, the guy actually, like, more than most celebrities, he seems to have a head on his shoulder.
That's the rare case you get, though, of celebrities who are genuinely very intelligent, like Stephen Fry, for example, or Bill Bailey, very funny comedian, actor, and also he's just really fucking talented, and really quite smart. Yeah, so I think that there's a few people that kind of are in that perfect position of being famous and funny and intelligent as well. So I suppose, I don't know, if I was to follow anyone on Twitter, it would be people like that. Not glamour people, because looks don't really mean that much in this world.
Well, I mean, they mean quite a bit in Hollywood. That's how they get the jobs half the time.
Well, yeah, to get to get money, yeah, but to live a good life, I don't really think. I mean, there are these people who, make shitloads and because of like one aspect of themselves, and then you see them. Yeah,
that one aspect.
Like Shia LaBeouf getting arrested.
Yeah.
And thrown in prison.
Yeah. Or they have that one aspect, and the one aspect fades, and then what's left?
Yeah. Yeah. The other one that always annoys me is that Canadian singer, Justin Bieber. God, he annoys me.
I mean,
his face annoys me.
Pretty sure he annoys everyone.
He's so rude though. He spat at taxi drivers. He's done all these horrible things, and he's just a fucking runt.
Part of that, I wonder if a good chunk of that is him trying to keep up kind of an image and keep his name out there, and how much of that is just because he became a celebrity when he was 8, 10?
Well,
I have no idea. The kid looked like he was 8 until he was 20.
Yeah. So you're saying the kind of no news is bad news kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Attention.
Yeah,
That's what brings in the money.
I feel like a good number of singers, celebrities, and stuff, they do that to keep their names out there.
Mm-hmm. This first section has been far too serious for the amount of coffee I've been drinking.
Well, let's go on to something completely unrelated to this.
Okay,
I wrote
the second topic.
I wrote this topic down completely on a whim because I was running out of ideas. Cooking.
Okay. Cooking. Oh.
Let's talk about cooking. I'll start off. For breakfast this morning, I made egg fried rice, and I had a banana on the side. I didn't really cook that, but like I love cooking. I love like cooking pretty much anything, and that's one nice thing about this lockdown has been that because I don't have a commute now, I have time to cook all my meals. So I've been able to get creative with recipes. Egg fried rice is amazingly simple, and I just Anyway, sorry.
It is delicious. No, I was gonna say, as a kid, I never really liked cooking because I think it was in my household when you're cooking, I was being supervised, and everything had to be done at very precise times, and if not, then you need to hurry up, or someone else will do it for you, kind of thing. So I don't know. If you're listening, Mum, I'm sorry. But I think as I've grown up, I've definitely. This is gonna sound really dumb and nerdy, but particularly in video games, I do get quite excited over cooking parts. Even as incredibly simple as they are, the idea of it's a creative outlet. And I don't know, it's exciting for me.
Well,
sorry.
No. Finish your thought. I thought you were done there.
Oh no, I was just gonna finish with. I've never really had my own kitchen. Like it's always been like even when I was in student accommodation, we weren't allowed our own kitchen. We had to have like this communal place where people who are brought in from the outside cook, and we just have to basically a cafeteria.
Yeah.
And I was kind of a bit disappointed by that. But yeah, go on.
So, I love cooking. I started cooking at a very, very young age. Also, my mother taught me. I was gonna say, I think I usually say it was probably around when I was 6, but I think it was actually earlier than that because I remember making lobster with my mother in our old apartment, and that was when I was 4 or younger. I probably didn't do much other than watch her boil the water and maybe help prepare the thing. My memories of that are very vague because again I was like 4 years old, but I've always loved cooking, and I've never. So what you're saying about things being done at the proper time and in the right order and everything, that was never something that I got growing up, and I don't know if it's necessarily the way my mom taught me, or if I just kind of went off on my own after that. But I always do everything by like feel. I don't really time anything unless some things I'll time, like if it's got like a specific like if it's like a pre-packaged thing that it's like put this in the oven for 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. But I usually finick around with so it says do it to 400 degrees. I'll do it to like 415 or something, depending on how I want it to come out. But when I'm cooking stuff on the stovetop, like if I'm doing pasta dishes or stir fries or like stews or soups or things like that, I'll kind of wing it and do the spices by taste or by look or smell. And this is one of the reasons the one type of cooking I never learned how to bake, and I hate baking, and it's because everything has to be like that. It has to be precise and at the right time and in the right quantities. You can't just wing it with a lot of other food. So.
Yeah, I do a bit of I cook pasta quite a bit for myself, and so I do consider myself one step above the microwave users, but I still use the microwave all the time, though, of course. I don't know. It's one of those things where I've given the opportunity when I do finally have my own place. I'd love to just fuck around with all sorts. Like watching the most recent one has been Life of Boris.
Yeah.
He does a lot of really wacky cooking videos of really easy stuff, not many ingredients, and a lot of it's kind of student-y, end of the month food kind of thing.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But it looks, I don't know, it seems really nice. I don't know, it's just his editing is really good or something. But yeah, it's just a bit mad, and he's so like reckless in the videos that it looks like anyone can kind of do it, and it really makes me want to cook. And then I remember that I can't do that. But
I mean, I think that's important though. More people should cook because it's a very satisfying thing. You were mentioning when you're in the student accommodations that you didn't have a kitchen there. Is that what I remember you saying?
Yeah,
So the reason I'm thinking of this is, so I lived in the dorms all 4 years I was at college. And 2 of the 3 years we had our own kitchen. One of our freshman year, it was a freshman dorm, so we didn't have a kitchen. We had a microwave and a mini fridge. Same thing our sophomore year, we managed to get a campus-owned apartment dorm. So it was a 7-person dorm. It had a living room and a kitchen. Great place. And then our junior year, we got into one that, again, didn't have its own kitchen, but it had a bar in the dorm in the downstairs, which was pretty awesome. And then our senior year, we got into this brand new dormitory, beautiful kitchen, great thing. And I remember we had a very different outlook to meals. Like we did meals, we'd all like take turns cooking dinner, and it'd be pretty elaborate things sometimes. But I remember my senior project, my project team, I was like, okay, we were gonna have our meeting after class. Like it was like in the evening, and I was like, oh, I'll cook dinner for everyone. Just come over, we'll have a meeting over food, and we'll talk over it. And I don't know what they were expecting. But I cooked. Oh, crap! I forgot to mute my phone. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I am putting that on silent. Anyway,
nothing urgent, is it? I hope.
Well, it was my mother calling. I'll have to call her in the break. To
wow,
see what
our
that
first guest.
Yeah, right. Anyway, I don't know what they were expecting, but when they came over, I'd made steaks. I had like wine with the steaks. I had sautéed vegetables and a baked potato. Like. I had made this whole like elaborate meal, and they're like, "Holy shit!" I don't know if they were expecting me to make like pasta or something.
Probably a pizza, yeah.
Or or order a pizza or something. It was good.
Man, yeah, it does sound good. I mean, yeah. You always talk about I know we go back to this topic often, but with D&D, you would sometimes go to like have large meetups at people's houses to do it.
Oh yeah.
And to have like, just have a big spread on, and that just sounds fucking amazing.
Yep, that's actually what we used to do. My my friend Kevin from college, he was DMing the game that we were playing in, and he'd host it at his house, and we'd pick we'd only meet up like once every 1 or 2 months whenever we'd be able to get everyone together. But we'd go up there for like 8 hours and do like, him and his wife would do like a bunch of food, like pulled pork and baked mac and cheese and other snack dishes. We'd bring up either snacks to go with that and some beer and just play D&D for like 9 hours on like a random Sunday. It was amazing.
Yeah, it does sound. So good. It just sounds so chill. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know if I could deal with 8 hours of TNT.
We'd take a break, like an hour break in the middle to eat and just chat about other random stuff.
Yeah, normally after about 4 or 5 hours of doing weird and wonderful voices, I just can't speak for the rest of the week. Bummy.
Yeah. Oh man, I'll have to. God, now I'm just nostalgic for that. We haven't played in quite a long time because work and life and stuff. I know 2 of the people who were playing in that both now have kids, so that puts a restriction on it. And
so I can get them to cook for you.
Yeah,
that's what kids are for.
Well, I'm not sure we'd trust those kids around like an open flame of a stove or anything like that.
I mean, I wouldn't trust Jake around an open flame, but you know.
He can actually, well, no, Kevin's more the cook than Jake, but I'm pretty sure Jake's been learning to cook. He can do stuff. We have a very culinary family.
You have a very musical family.
That too. Yeah, I'm one of the only ones that didn't get the music genes.
I have a very techie family.
Oh.
It's funny how families kind of focus down particular routes generally. Like, it's not often you get, I don't know, an accountant and a fine arts student coming from the same family.
I'm trying to think if I actually know anyone like that where they've had that kind of a disparate profession.
That split, yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Anyway, we are coming up on the end of this. Do you have any final thoughts on topics before I close this out?
Not really. And food topics normally are the end of the podcast.
Right?
Celebrities should talk less. Twitter's evil. And
cook some food.
Shia Labouf is coming for you.
Shia Labouf. Oh my god. If no one has yet, look up and watch the music video, Actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf. It is fucking hilarious. And actually a pretty good song. But yeah, with that, this is the end of segment 1. Thank you for listening, and you should hear us again soon. All right, and welcome back to the TMCJ podcast. We are now on segment number 2, media.
Sorry.
And then he's... All right, the whole countdown. The whole countdown blue's like, hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, I stopped. I waited. No, go. Oh, no, wait. All right. And the moment I hit record, there's the sneeze.
It's done. It's fine. Professionalism. Professional Kaiser!
Oh, the timing. Well, it was remarkable timing, just maybe not necessarily the way it should have been. Oh my god. I don't think we've done movie night yet this week. Have we?
No, we haven't. We mentioned it yesterday, but I overslept, as I often do.
What was the last... So, we didn't do anything last Sunday.
No, the last one we watched was Knight's Tale.
Alright, well in that case, I have a movie to talk about.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. It's a movie...
Wait.
What?
I was going to say, is it the one we're going to be watching?
Oh, no. I won't spoil it for you.
Okay, good.
By the way, we're... hint for the next time, we're going to be watching I want to say it was 2004. The movie is called Troy. Follows a dramatization of the Trojan War. Big budget movie. Amazing movie. Very well done. Highly recommended. But we'll be watching that later. So the movie I'm talking about is also an older movie. I want to say it came out in 2005? 2004? I don't know. The movie's called Man on Fire.
Right.
And it follows Denzel Washington. He is like an old soldier, special ops person, and he's kind of down on the outs. He's alcoholic. He doesn't really... He's kind of like lost his way in life. He's haunted by his past or whatever. He goes down to Mexico to visit like an old friend, army buddy, special ops buddy, Christopher Walken. I'm gonna love. Again, because you can tell because I know an actor's name, I actually enjoy pretty much every role they play, or I think they're silly in the case of Shia LaBeouf. But Christopher Walken is one of the ones that I think both. He's silly, and I enjoy every single role that he plays. Anyway, so he goes down there. Christopher Walken has got like a pretty good gig. He's just, he's down there enjoying life down in Mexico City.
He's walking here. Sorry.
God damn it. So Denzel Washington goes down there. He gets kind of a kind of a budget job for him, to being a bodyguard for this little girl who's the daughter of some big factory magnate in Mexico City. And basically, because there's so many kidnappings at this point in time, I don't know if it's still true, it might be, but in Latin America, they give this statistic in the movie, once every 60 minutes, one person is kidnapped in Latin America, was the statistic. And anyway, he's her bodyguard. Things are going pretty well until one day, he gets jumped. He kind of gets suspicious. She's coming out of like a music lesson, and there are these cops who are blocking off the road, and then another car comes through. The cops start shooting at him, and the people in the car try to grab the girl. She ends up getting grabbed, and the rest of the movie is just him going on a rampage trying to get her back, essentially. And just because it's one of those stories where he was down and out. He was like, he was on the verge of killing himself, just doing nothing.
I'm glad we've taken a positive turn after the first episode.
God,
Jesus,
let me finish. It has a happy ending. So he down and out, wants to kill himself, horrendously alcoholic, but the little girl kind of protecting her teaches him to that life is worth living again. Like that little beacon of positivity, and then she gets taken, and that's what sets him off on the quest to, get revenge, because and this is venturing into spoilers for people who haven't seen the movie. The guy implies that because they botched up the exchange, the ransom, that they were never going to see her again, and so he assumes she's dead and just lays waste and goes on a very cathartic rampage against all the corrupt cops, all of the gang people, all of the people involved in the kidnapping that are taking a piece.
Is this the main character that's doing this, or
this is the main character?
Father? Okay.
And there's a great line, a great exchange between Christopher Walken and this one federal police guy, and he's asking Christopher Walken what he thinks is going to happen, and the guy Denzel Washington's character's name is Chauncey.
Chauncey?
No,
oh
no, I'm trying to remember it. It's a CH name, I want to say Chubbs, but that's not it.
Chugless.
I wish I could remember. Cleese.
Chickless Cage.
His name is Cleese.
Sorry.
His name is Cleese.
Okay.
His name is Cleese. Anyway, so the Christopher Walken, I'm going to do my worst Christopher Walken impression. He's like, some men can be... some men are artists, depending on whatever they're good at. They can paint masterpieces. They can make musical symphony.
You sound like a twink, not Christopher Walken.
Yeah. I know. Like I said, it's a bad impression. Just shut up and let me finish. Oh crap! And I completely lost where I was in the line.
Sorry.
He's like, Cleese's art is death, and he's about to paint his masterpiece. And that line really sums up the rest of the movie. Anyway, I won't go into too much more detail because I do highly recommend watching this movie because it's very good.
It sounds not dissimilar to John Wick.
Except
instead of it being revenge, he's actually after a actual thing.
Yeah, and it is mostly motivated by revenge, but it's different. Whereas John Wick was kind of like this over the top action, and there's all this
it's all realistic.
Yeah, funny. This one is much more kind of gritty. Cleese in the movie is he's constantly getting even more hurt and even more wounded, but just by sheer willpower, he's just powering through, no regard for his own life. But I will. Well, hold on, I'm not done. And so I will say that the movie does have like a very, very satisfying conclusion. I won't like go into too much detail because again, I recommend watching it, but it does have a very, very satisfying ending. And no, I have not seen any of the Die Hard movies.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Damn, that's fucked up. It's like a Christmas film. Have you not seen Die Hard?
How is it? That's a Christmas film?
Yeah, the one at the hospital, not hospital, maybe it's a hospital. It's an office building, I think. And he's got the wife beater on, and he's fighting German guy. It's either German or Russian. It's always one of the two. Very good film. We need to watch that at some point then.
Okay. Well, so
the other film. Sorry.
No. I've never. Yeah, I've never seen them. Never seen any of them.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, my mother was a big fan of Die Hard, which is hilarious because she doesn't like guns or violence or anything like that. But it's so funny over the top that she weirdly really enjoyed it. But no, I was gonna say the next film that I want to queue up for you, because I don't think you or Alicia have seen it, is The Truman Show.
I have seen bits of it.
Oh, okay.
I've not seen the whole thing, but I think maybe when I was younger, it was on TV or something like that, and I caught like chunks of it. I know the concept, and I've seen the ending.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't. Anyway, I won't talk about it because. But I consider it a clever film. Like, it's not saying that there's a lot of things that other films don't try and do. It's very outside the box. But yeah, that's probably what we'll watch when it's my turn next. God knows what Alicia's plan is.
I'm curious because you brought up Die Hard. Another like classic action movie franchise that I also have never seen is Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, I haven't either, but that's because I'm not a massive car fan, despite playing Car Mechanic Simulator for like 50 hours.
So what am I trying to say? One that I've always wanted to see. There's only one of them that I've ever really wanted to see, and that was Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Right.
Just because I was. Drifting has always been something that has looked really, really fucking cool to me whenever I watch like any sort of racing or car related videos.
Yeah. Mario Kart. Yep.
Yeah, Mario Kart, exactly. I was never. I think I've mentioned this before on the podcast. I was never really a big car guy, and I now know quite a bit about cars, but that's just because I watched a ton of Top Gear. Like, it has very little to do with actual interest.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up too, like a lot of my friends, one of my best friends in high school, like really loved like racing games. He'd play like the off-road rally sport kind of racing video games,
Forza and all that.
Yeah, Forza. Yeah, I sucked at those games. Absolutely sucked.
Yeah. I didn't have the patience for them really to learn them.
Well, right, and plus you're supposed to hit the brakes when you go around corners. What's up with that? No, just hold the acceleration. That's how I play racing games.
Pretty much. Require patience kind of thing.
Oh my god.
Also, all the tracks are like... It's like the difference between... the difference in golf, right? So there's regular golf, which is really dull and boring, and the whole place always looks exactly the same. And then there's crazy golf, which is like a quarter of the time, so you're not left standing around just staring out to the middle distance of a fucking field. And it actually has some interesting like dynamics and turns and colour and buildings and all that. And it's like, it's nothing fancy, but it's something to entertain your mind.
Would this be a bad time to mention that my dad is an avid golfer?
Yeah, I remember you saying. I was hoping by that you meant he's an avid crazy golfer on a professional level.
Oh yeah. He actually uses a driver at a mini golf course. Just launches it right from the parking lot into the 18th hole.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry, guys, his dad.
I mean,
I just don't. Maybe it's something when I get older, I'll grow into.
well,
But
I feel like that is one thing. Golf is definitely a sport that you kind of have to grow because it's a slower paced, more patient, relaxed kind of sport.
hmm.
It doesn't have the kind of clashing, high speed action that a lot of sports. It's one of the reasons, and I'll get in trouble for this for saying this. You know, living near Boston, baseball's never really been my kind of sport. Like, I like watching hockey. I like watching our football. But baseball's always bored me because it's like, let's you know, all these other guys are going to sit out there and just wait, and then we're going to take turns, one guy at a time, to come up, and it's just between these two guys. He's going to throw the ball, you're going to hit it, and then everyone gets to take their turn. Like, it just...
Yeah.
There's way too much downtime in that sport for me.
Do you know so you know how America stole football basically, right?
The word?
Yeah, and they made it like a basically just rugby but with slightly small differences, right?
Yeah.
Well, we kind of did the same with baseball because I'm sure you've probably heard it. Most people I don't think will have in America. We have rounders. I don't know if you know what that is. Okay, cool.
I'm familiar with it, and I actually, but it's not something I've known about for a long time. I found out about it probably in the last 5 years or so.
Okay, yeah, but it's like it's a one-handed bat, so it's like a truncheon kind of thing. Other than that, I think the rules are pretty much the same. We just rebranded it and stole the premise, basically. I just quite enjoyed that, though.
I don't know. Have you ever seen the video of John Cleese talking about the difference between American football and everyone else's football?
No.
It's pretty funny. Because he's pointing out, it's like, you know, in football, or as the Americans call it, soccer, you have a ball that you hit with your foot. But in American football, you have a special type of object that's not really a ball, that you most of the time carry with your hands. There is one person who's allowed to touch it with his foot, but he has to be specially brought out onto the field.
I never even thought of that, really. Like, yeah. Football.
Yeah, the running joke is American football should be called hand egg.
Yes. Is it played much in, like, Brazil? You know, South America?
No.
They play our football a lot down there. They're very famous for it.
The only other place I know of that plays a lot of football, like our American football, is Canada.
Yeah.
Canada, but they do it differently. Their fields are longer.
Oh, really?
Because I think they have 100-meter fields, whereas we have 100-yard fields.
Okay.
So their fields are like something like 30% longer. I may be getting that slightly wrong, but I know their fields are a different size.
Them some fit Canadians.
I don't know. So the first time, so one of my best friends from home, she went to college in Canada and in Montreal, and I went up there one time. First of all, it was a culture shock to me. I was 19 years old at this point, so in the States I wasn't old enough to drink, but up there I could go to a bar. We go to the football game, like American football game, and we were watching the game, and they're playing, and refreshments were being served. You know, they go around the game selling snacks and everything. This was the culture shock to me. The women's hockey team was selling beer as a fundraiser at a school game, and that just like the fact that that's the most Canadian thing I've ever heard is a women's hockey team, and B,
hockey in general.
Well, well, we have hockey around here, but it's not big enough around where I live that they have like a men's and women's team.
Really?
In fact, my high school didn't have hockey at all, but
over here, hockey is considered a women's sport.
Really?
Yeah, which is madness because it's fucking lethal.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't want to play it. That's for sure.
I remember my dad used to play hockey. I remember going to see his games when I was younger. and it's that sport is brutal. Like, you get people smashed up against the glass, and like fist fighting is practically part of the sport.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, wait, are you talking about hockey or ice hockey?
Ice hockey.
Okay, yeah, no, we don't really have ice hockey. Well,
You're talking about field hockey.
Well, on a court, yeah.
Okay.
Like you wouldn't. It'd be on like what's that shit they put like tennis court stuff. No, not AstroTurf.
No, not AstroTurf. Like, is clay maybe?
Plasticky stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I have no idea what it's called.
But yeah, it's fucking terrifying. Like, don't get me wrong. In school, I was afraid to walk past the football field. I would not walk past a freaking hockey area.
So I will say that's different. So ice hockey, yeah, I'm talking about ice hockey. The women's ice hockey team was selling beer as a fundraiser, but in my high school we had field hockey, which again, it's not the same thing. It's played with these like shorter sticks with a tiny little curved nub on the end, whacking around like it looks like a croquet ball, honestly.
Yeah.
Around a grass field, into nets. So, and that was a women's sport. We didn't have a men's field hockey team. Yeah. What about lacrosse? Did you guys have lacrosse?
Hang on, I need to remind myself what lacrosse is.
I'm pretty sure you probably didn't, because it's a sport that originates in Latin America. If I'm not mistaken.
Lacrosse is a commune in France. What?
God damn it!
How do you spell lacrosse? Oh, that way. Okay, right. Yeah, I got a completely wrong spelling. Yeah, no, that's the one with the weird net sticks.
Yeah.
We don't have that over here at all, I don't think.
God. So.
At first, I thought you were talking about polo.
How did this happen? This is the media segment where we're just like comparing sports between countries.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's been like a whole podcast since we've talked about the difference between England and America. I feel like this is our shit. Like this is our content.
This is our guilty pleasure. We always, whenever we devolve into this, it can go on for hours.
Just segregating. Go on.
What about I don't even know.
Wait, do you have polo over there?
Polo? Is that where the guy on the horse hits a ball with a stick?
Yeah. Hammers and horses.
I'm fairly certain we don't have that. I know what it is, but if we have it here, it's a very like niche thing.
Yeah, I mean it's not a big thing over here. I imagine only like the most poshest of schools kind of thing would ever teach that.
Well, yeah, I can't imagine it would be at a school here.
Yeah. Also, so there's polo and then there's water polo, where you ride seahorses. No, I'm kidding.
I thought water polo was just like volleyball, but in the water.
Yeah, it's like football / volleyball, because it's yeah. Obviously, you can't use feet in the water. But yeah, there's like football goals, and
somewhere out there is like an average sports connoisseur who like knows about all of these different sports, who is cringing horribly listening to us.
I think my descriptions are quite good. What about croquet?
Well, so yes, but that's more like a garden game.
Yeah. Well,
I played croquet when I was younger. Like I remember having it set up in people's yards. Yeah. Well, so is I don't know what you guys call. Well, yeah, I think that's what you guys call it. I'm thinking like we call it bocce ball.
Bocce ball. Okay, that's definitely not what I was thinking of. Bocce ball, like you gotta hit people with a ball, haven't you?
What? No.
Hang on, I'm trying to look up bocce ball.
Bocce ball is like so you
BOCCE.
CCI, I think.
I think you're wrong, but go on.
Okay, fine, whatever. But let me describe it and see if that's what you've pulled up or what you're imagining. So, again, a yard game. You have each team or each person has two colored balls. So like red, green, yellow, blue.
Yeah.
And then there's a tiny yellow marker ball. Whoever's starting throws the marker ball, and then the goal of everyone else is to get as close to the marker ball as possible.
Yep.
You get both balls close, 3 points. One ball close, 1 point. You can knock people's balls away. Does that sound? So that is what you're thinking of.
Well, yeah, my one of my grandmothers, I don't know if she still does it, but yeah, she used to play that. We've actually, I looked at bocce ball, and literally, it's like something from my childhood, because I remember seeing these actual things at their house, and there's, I've seen, I don't know if you have seen like world championship players play it, and it's really intense. It's like these really old people, like staggering up, and then they do it, and it's like so precisely perfect the way that they do it. And they're just like, geez, they just stand up. They don't make any like success, like whooping or anything. Stand up, turn around. See your turn next.
I've been doing this my whole life.
Yeah,
they
got style.
That is very different from. So typically, the times I've played it have been at like cookouts and like in people's backyards and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll typically do it in ways to just like fuck with people. So when I have the marker ball, I'll just whip it as hard as I can.
Yeah, and smack other people's balls out of the way. Kind of.
No, the marker ball. So like people.
No, sorry, I know as well. I meant.
So like I'll throw the marker ball as far away as possible, so that you really have to throw the bocce ball overhand to actually get anywhere near it.
Oof.
And I mean, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
Cringe. Overarm swinging a bocce ball.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. And sometimes, we'll always try to do like trick shots. Like one time we threw it like over my friend's house, and so you had to throw the ball like around a corner somehow to get to the marker.
Right. Bounce shots.
Yeah, we'll always do like silly stuff like that. I remember at I think it was one of my friend's graduations, I got all the players to agree that I could play the entire game from a lawn chair. Like everyone, like the rules were the same, except I didn't have to shoot from the starting point, but the rule was I could only shoot from the lawn chair.
Yeah.
I sometimes had to throw it backwards, sometimes I had to throw it really far away, but my lawn chair was always in the same spot, and I won that game. Yeah, it's just a fun game to screw around with. But yeah, I can't even imagine what a professional version of that would look like.
Yeah, it is really quite impressive.
Oh my god.
Like, so, imagine bowling to be like a subpar version of it, because they've got to actually stop it at the right time. But anyway, sorry, go on.
Almost the way you're describing it sounds like curling, but on grass.
Kind of, yeah. Except it's only one person, there's no mop boy.
Oh,
frantically jerking off in front of the stone.
Oh my god.
Man, there's a lot of stuff you're going to add to the census this week.
Yeah, again, if I remember.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. We both know it won't.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you talking about originally?
Well, we were starting off talking about media. I was talking about that movie Man on Fire. And
yeah.
I have no idea how we got here from there.
A long and crazy journey. Was there any other topic you had in prep for this?
I mean, I had one other thing that I have been, like, media-wise, that I've been going into this week. Kind of a follow-up from last week.
Okay.
Last week I was talking about that book series that I had started, the Formic Wars.
Yeah.
And since last week when I talked about it, I was probably a little more than halfway through the first book. I'm now on the third book. Like, I've been plowing through it. It's really good. And the book series is just keeping up. The characters are well written. And one thing I realized reading through it, and this is something that not a lot of authors, even if they try to do it, they're not necessarily successful. The guy or I guess it was two people that wrote this book, and I'm not sure what degree both of them did the writing for. If one was like doing setting and another one was doing characters or whatever, but they did a very good job making each chapter, like depending on what character the chapter is told from the perspective of, like they change the way things are writing. Like the perspective on the world is notably different. So like there's a chapter by this guy who's the son of like a corporate, billionaire, and his chapters are written in such a way that like his perspective comes through as very it's very clearly written from the perspective and the worldview of someone in that position. But then you've got another chapter, it's this chick who's like fresh out of college in her first job, and she's like out there to change the world, and she thinks, she's gonna be smarter and better than all her competitors. And the chapter is written in such a way that it really, you feel like you're seeing the world through her eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the same way that the corporate guy, you're seeing the world through his eyes. Another one's like this kid who's kind of lived out on the frontier, and again, it feels like you're seeing the world through the eyes of someone who grew up in that circumstance. It's very well executed, and I didn't realize it until the second book, or maybe it was the end of the first one, where I was listening to the perspective of this one character, and I realized, like, I was like, oh my god, this whole chapter is like annoying me, and I realized, well, I think that's on purpose. It's written by a character, or it's told from the perspective of a character that if I met them in real life would annoy the shit out of me.
Is that good writing then, or is that...
I think it's good writing because it gives...
It's getting a reaction out of you, so I suppose it is.
Well, it gives each character more life, right? Like each chapter is written in such a way that you feel like you're actually seeing the world from that character's view. More than just hearing them talk and like describing them, just the way they describe things seems in line with the character that's telling the given chapter. Yeah,
and like as we've said many times previously, it's kind of the flaws that make characters. Like,
oh yeah,
it's you can't have the good without the bad.
Yeah, and that's
it's just boring.
Well, yeah, that goes back to when we were talking about the Marvel movies. It's the reason I dislike Superman and Captain Marvel, because they're flawless. They're just these, perfect beings, and the only time anything interesting happens is when some outside force holds them back somehow. But inherently, they themselves don't seem to have any real flaws, and so that just makes them boring as characters.
Yeah, and yet I maintain that I am not a boring character, despite being flawless in every way.
And that's the end of segment 2, everybody. Next week I'll be returning with my new partner,
Raymond.
Oh God, we need to get him on here for a segment. Except I don't think he wakes up this early.
To hear someone else's opinions.
Oh my God.
Yeah. God, you'd make such a good redneck.
Hey, I don't know. Actually, I don't know whether I should take that as a compliment or an insult.
Well, it wasn't meant as
Oh my God.
It's a state of being. What can I say?
It's a state of being. Oh man. All right. Well, I think that's where we can end off segment 2. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and
Putting up with us.
What? Oh yeah, putting up with us. Yeah, that's probably a more apt way to put it. But either way, thank you, and you'll hear from us again soon. And welcome back to the TMCJ podcast. We are now on segment 3, our wildcard segment, which
Our best segment.
I don't know. I feel like we've barely used this segment for any of our suggested purposes for it.
Yeah, well, that's the idea of it. It's so random. Not even we know what we're talking about.
It's not exactly what I intended when I envisioned it.
Either too high on coffee or drunk on alcohol by this point to understand what I'm saying.
Oh my God. Little column A, little column B. So, I actually feel like one thing we should talk about is what we were just talking about in the interim there. Blue just tried Googling the name of the podcast, TMCJ Podcast, and sure enough, We are the first entire page of results on Google.
For 2.5 pages.
It's, yeah, that's pretty impressive. What's a little bit more unfortunate is, well, maybe for the people who are searching for just TMCJ. TMCJ, the abbreviation refers to the YouTube channel that I have that I'm posting this stuff to, that is The Man Called Justice. However, apparently, TMCJ more commonly is The Man Called Jesus.
Which is weirdly close now you think about it. Like, 3 of the words in a row the same.
I didn't ever think that, like, you know, I know the what is it, the What Would Jesus Do? Like, I know that abbreviation was very popular. I'd never heard The Man Called Jesus. So, if people are trying to search for The Man Called Jesus podcast, if that's even a thing, that is not what this is.
No, this is totally that. We are all about Christian values, and give us your views.
They're going to be sorely disappointed. We did talk about religion like once or twice, but
we did.
That is not the primary theme of this podcast, especially not
for
this
our Christ
episode.
homies out there. Yeah.
Considering how we opened this episode, that is definitely not this podcast.
Yeah, probably not. But hey, it means you'll get, you know, all those that Christian clickbait. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'll stop talking.
Clickbait. Oh my god.
Can I put Jesus in the thumbnail?
No, don't put Jesus in the thumbnail.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Oh, okay. Well, that was not... But it is exciting to know that if you actually search TMCJ podcast on Google, we not only come up, we dominate the entire search page.
Yeah. It's quite fun.
So that's something. A little bit of a... At least, you know, Google listens to us.
Yep.
Yeah, so, again, I didn't really have anything to talk about in this. One of the ideas I had, and it's something that came up a couple times, was how, like, actually, no, this is, you know what? I thought of the perfect thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So, what I had written down was Amazon shopping. And specifically, I was thinking of us, like, looking at Amazon, like, our personal Amazon pages and seeing, like, because it curates the results that come to you, right? Based on what you've shopped at and ostensibly what you've looked up and searched and talked about, because they are creepily listed.
Before this goes on, I want to put one resounding flaw in the plan that I'm sure it's going to be.
Yeah.
And that is that Amazon is linked to my Audible account. And I've been looking up how, you know, dinosaur romance novels.
Oh,
so...
right. That was another podcast.
I'm not sure I want to check that.
So that was my first idea. And I'll admit it's kind of a shitty one. I did have... it's funny, though. I did take a brief glance at my own Amazon page because of that. And it is a interesting eclectic mix of computer parts, video games... books, and random household appliances. Oh, and MREs for some reason.
Right.
For those who don't know the acronym, meal ready to eat. Like, they're essentially survival food or meals that are passed out to soldiers and stuff. I think they're just selling that shit to everyone because everyone thinks the world's ending. But, yeah. Again, admittedly, bad idea. But it made me think of a conversation that I'd had with Juan and Raymond the other day, few weeks back, and Juan kind of pointed out that something his wife used Facebook for. Like, Facebook curates your, like, ads for you, like shopping, like if you are looking up a whole bunch of things, or if you're talking about something, it'll curate the ads to whether you like it or not, towards trying to sell something personalized to you. And he was saying that his wife actually used it as, like, a personal shopping service almost. Like, she's like, well, she didn't mind because it's like, oh, Amazon knows exactly what I want to buy. It knows my tastes. And so I don't have to browse around. And up until that point, it was like, I didn't even know people like that existed. Like, I had just assumed most people like me were annoyed by the ads and creeped out when they were customized for me.
Yeah, I didn't really like it when especially when things show up on, like, YouTube and stuff, and maybe, like, I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit weird. By the way, just As a quick side note, because it's pertinent to what we were talking about just before,
Yeah.
I go on Amazon.co.uk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know Amazon do podcasts, right?
Do they?
Yeah, apparently. Maybe it's linked to Audible or something. And
We should look
the
to see.
podcast,
Sorry, go on.
the podcast that's suggested for me is called "I Can't Believe It's Not Buddha."
I can't believe it's not Buddha.
I think it's Lee Mack. I think, and someone else by the looks of it. It looks like Lee Mack anyway.
Oh my god.
Yeah, religious podcasts right there. That's the first thing recommended to me.
Well, you were looking up all that spiritual stuff for that one podcast segment. That's probably why. Speaking of Amazon,
such a weird book.
Sorry, literally while you were saying that, I just bought something off Amazon because I have it up.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's
Damn,
too
you got
easy.
hoaxed. Just show me GPS tracker for dogs. I've never bought any dog-related gear. Top starter projects. Let's try something bird feed as well.
Oh my
I don't
god.
think this is my stuff.
Wait, are you logged into somebody else's Amazon account?
No. It's my Amazon account. I just don't. I just think they've given up on me and have started suggesting just random shit. There's PS4 games, but I would never buy a game these days because it's all digital.
Oh really? Okay. I only buy physical copies if I can.
Yeah. Yeah, no, none of this is recommended for me, I don't think.
Amazon forgot who you were.
Pretty much. Sorry, I'm just...
No. It's fine. I'm thinking about this now, in terms of like advertisements and buying. Do you find like with the advent of online shopping? I know with video games and Steam, I make a lot more purchases than I ever normally would, but a lot of them are discounted. So I'm wondering like if it's a net positive or net negative, the ease and accessibility of being able to just buy whatever happens to strike your fancy.
Well, I think when I often buy this, for example, a new game, but I mean, it tends to be when I'm like really bored or I'm just not feeling great. I need a distraction. It's like buying. It's basically the equivalent of going out to the pub, right?
Yeah, or buying comfort
bored,
food
you
or something like
essentially-
that.
Yeah, except the next morning I've still got it and I'm not throwing up in the bathroom, kind of thing. So I suppose, I don't know, I always found games quite therapeutic, shall we say?
Yeah,
and kind of worthy purchase.
I'll admit to I've done the same thing where it's just like, you know, it's like a quiet Sunday and I don't really feel like, you know, doing much around the house. I'm just like I want to play something, you know, slow paced, kind of quiet, just something to keep my mind occupied and to pass like a lazy Sunday afternoon or something like that. And I'll do the same thing. I'll like go on Steam or whatever, sometimes Xbox or whatever gaming platform I happen to be using at the time, and see if I can't find something that just seems right for the occasion.
Yeah, I thought it sounded like you were about to start a country song for a second there.
Wait, what?
I don't know, when you started the sentences it was like, you know, it's a cold, calm Sunday night and I'm just like, you know what? I feel like playing games.
And here comes the acoustic guitar in the background.
Exactly. Yeah. What's his name? The ginger guy that plays guitar.
Ed Sheeran?
Yes. Man, everyone knows him just by that. It's bad. But yeah.
The ginger guy that plays the guitar.
Yeah. To be fair, name one other guitar playing ginger. Exactly. There aren't any.
That's a good. I can't think. Honestly,
wait. It's your cousin.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Jake is ginger, and he does play the guitar.
I was thinking Kevin.
Well, they're both. Jake's more ginger than Kevin.
Oh, I didn't know Jake was ginger.
No. Oh, I'm trying to picture
I've
them
seen
both.
like very rarely.
I guess
see
Jake is more
yeah.
blonde. I'm trying to picture them both. This is what the quarantine's done. It's been forever since I've seen either of them in person.
Yeah. Yi was like, I was in call with Yi and Scott the other day, actually this a few weeks ago, and Yi was like, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you blue, and Scott was like, it's literally his Discord icon. That's what he looks like. Doy. But I don't actually like that now because I got short hair.
Yeah. I mean, my icon looks pretty much like I do.
I'm kind of torn between, should I update the Discord icon because I kind of want to, but at the same time, if I update the Discord icon too many times in close proximity, it seems a bit weird.
Well, then no one knows who you are. You could be anyone.
Exactly.
Like
Then
that
they
time
hear
we
my-
all changed our name to Blue Bear.
My lustrous British accent, and they're like, ah, yes, we know this one.
Oh, God, that reminds me. I can't remember where or who sent this to me, but this picture, it was just, I don't know, it was a post, and the quote is, in it is British for Desu.
Oh, right. Yeah. What's this? What?
You know, okay. Never mind. I'll explain it to you after the podcast. It's
Okay.
it's
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
It's
that's gonna really destroy the mic.
Desu is like a cutesy way to end a sentence in Japanese.
Okay. I see. You're a frickin' weeb. So what were we talking about originally?
We were talking about Amazon shopping.
Oh, yeah.
And whether or not it was good or bad purchase. And then we kind of moved on to Steam and making purchases there. But I was thinking like Amazon, like just now I just bought a case of like seltzer water. Because it was like $10 and I like it.
Wait, what's seltzer water?
Or, well, not actually, I think this was just seltzer water is basically like just bubbly water. I think they might add stuff to it. This was Perrier, so just like lime flavored carbonated water, like a mineral water.
I'm not a lime fan.
Oh, I love lime. Like
You
even when I'm
lime.
just drinking normal glasses of water, I'll put like ice, squirt a lime in there, and then fill it up with water, and it's lime water. It tastes delicious.
I don't know. Mind you, I put like strawberry jam into a glass of water and that tastes delicious, so...
Strawberry jam. Wait, into water?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's just strawberry flavoured water.
But why jam?
Because it's just literally just the taste of strawberry, that's it. And it mixes in with water.
I'm at a
It's
loss.
a good... Like, my choices, right, are water, as in tap water, or Coca-Cola, alright? It's a good middle ground. It makes me sound like I'm really poor. It's really nice. I don't know.
I mean, I guess, more power to you.
Wow. I didn't know that tone of voice, sir.
I've been doing a lot
Goddamn.
more herbal tea lately, or drinking a lot more of that. Because now that I've found this little, it was a gift, and it's just like it's this little teapot with a tea infuser like in it, and just ever since
my God.
I started using this thing, I've been drinking a lot more tea.
They should need to make a brand. Maybe it's already out there, called Tea, as in TEA,
Mm-hmm.
and Tea.
Wait.
It's like TNT, but it's T and T.
Get the fuck off this podcast.
That's amazing. Come on,
What the fuck?
man.
But
I-
what would it
that's
even
genius.
be other than a horrible pun?
It could be. I don't know. I'm planning the actual product. I don't drink tea, but it's a creative way, and I think it would stand out on the shelf because tea is not funny, and tea. I think people would buy that.
Tea is funny when you teabag people in FPS games.
Maybe it's like a really strong tea, 'cause it's like explosive flavor. tea and tea.
I feel like you could make like an alcoholic tea and do that.
Hmm.
Or just
Yeah, I
like,
can't think
or
of
no,
alcoholic tea.
or maybe spicy, like a really spicy tea.
Like, you get a lot of alcoholic coffee, but not really tea.
Really? We have it here.
Well, not that I know of, anyway.
There's
I mean, there's like, I suppose if you say Long Island iced tea.
Well,
I
yeah,
suppose.
that's one thing. There's also what they call it. It's called twisted tea, and it's like this cheap. If you look at what it says on the bottle, it's like it's supposedly like an iced tea, like a comes in a beer bottle. It's like an iced tea kind of flavor. I've personally never had it.
Yeah, it sounds pretty gross. Tea in a beer bottle.
As far as I don't know. I can't speak to it. But I read the label on it one time, and it's actually labeled as a flavored beer.
Right.
So it's called Twisted Tea, and it's marketed like an alcoholic iced tea, but it's technically classified as a flavored beer by the FDA. So,
Oh my god. Okay, while I was working at my old job, and very occasionally, I'd have to do like the alcohol section, like the beers and that kind of thing.
yeah,
And you know how you get like in the air quotes vegetarian section of a supermarket, it's all just like vegetarian chicken, vegetarian beef. There's no actual like, vegetables, right?
yeah,
So the same thing here. There's in the alcohol section, non-alcoholic beer. Like, don't put that in the alcohol section. Put that in the soft drinks, because that ain't beer.
yeah. Well, I mean, technically, I've warmed to this in recent times. As you know, I've talked about how
I know you say you enjoy the taste of them, but I still don't think they deserve to
be in the
same
alcohol
aisle.
section. But I mean, it is beer. It's just beer with little to no alcohol content. 'Cause I don't know about in the UK, but in the US, to be classified as a non-alcoholic beer, it has to be less than 0.5% alcohol by volume, so less than 0.5% alcohol by volume.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, like I tried a while back. I like Heineken as a beer.
Mm-hmm.
They did a sampler.
You realise
pack.
you're outing yourself to all your family and friends right now. Go on.
What, did I like Heineken? They know I like Heineken.
Do you like low percentage alcohol beer?
Well, no percentage. Low percentage, no. Like no percentage, yes. Like, if I'm drinking a beer that has alcohol in it, I want it to have alcohol in it. But if I'm drinking a beer that has no alcohol in it, it's because I want it to have no alcohol in it. Like, I don't like the beer that's like just extremely low percentage, like a shandy or something like that. That's a soft drink, and I don't really like those. But Heineken did that promotion where they sold like a 12-pack of beer. There was normal Heineken beer, but it came with 3 free cans of the zero alcohol one. I tried it out. It's not bad. You can definitely taste that there's something missing in it, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not a beer drinker, so I wouldn't really know.
I
like cider. But
Oh, right. And cider over there is a very different beast than cider over here.
yeah.
Yeah, like you guys, cider's typically like a stronger, more bitter drink over there, isn't it? Or at least
I'd say
stronger.
They're pretty damn sweet, I would say.
But still, it's on the stronger end alcohol-wise, right?
Nah.
Really? Okay. Maybe I'm getting the wrong impression then.
There's one of the spoons that I know. They do this thing. I think it's called Georgian the No, it's called Black Dragon, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a mixture of cider and whiskey in a pint.
Oh God.
That's pretty strong. But generally, cider, no, not very strong.
I've mentioned this before. One of my favorite fall drinks is you take like a pint glass, and you have like a bottle of either alcoholic or non-alcoholic cider, depending on your preference, and then you have like an Oktoberfest beer, like some kind of Oktoberfest beer. It doesn't really matter the brand. And you fill the glass half with the Oktoberfest beer, and then the other half you top off with cider, either again alcoholic cider or non-alcoholic cider.
Isn't that a shandy?
If you use the non-alcoholic stuff, yes,
Okay.
technically. But it's a great. I find it to be a really, really good, like, right when the weather starts to get crisp in fall. It's a great drink for that. And again, to your taste. If you want something lightly alcoholic, use soft cider. If you want something, along the same lines of alcohol content as a beer, use hard cider. But it's tasty either way.
So, what were we talking about?
We were talking about Amazon shopping, and then at this
okay.
point we've just kind of gone off into the weeds. Like you said at the beginning, this segment has just chaos. Chaos reigns is what we should call segment 3.
Yeah. What was I thinking? There was something. Oh, speaking of spoons. You know how in the last one I was talking.
By the way, I feel like I have to clarify because it's not a chain over here. I know what it is
No.
because you took me there when I was in the UK, but it's like a chain restaurant. For people in the US, it's kind of like a kind of a lower end version of Fridays or Applebee's.
It's where you get the cheapest booze.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's a cheaper version of it's more in line with like a Denny's or an IHOP, except they serve booze.
Yeah. So they do also do food, and I hadn't realised that the percentage off they are still doing it. The Eat Out to Help Out thing. And so I just was dropping by there because I'd forgotten to eat breakfast before I left for Bristol one day, and I got like a full burger, chips, and a drink for like £4 or something. I think it was less than that. I think it was like £3. So good.
That isn't bad.
And the other thing, which I posted in general chat the other day. This wasn't actually at Spoons. This was at another chain that I frequent. The fanciest goddamn nachos I've ever seen. Korean barbecue sauce, chicken, sesame seeds sprinkled on top with sour cream and cheese. Oh.
Yeah, honestly, I said it in chat, but when I saw that picture, it honestly looked like some kind of a deconstructed apple pie.
Yeah.
Because of the weird ingredients. But it sounds delicious.
Also, because, the sour cream looks like a dollop of actual cream, and the sesame seeds sprinkled on top just look far too fancy to be on nachos. But goddamn, they were delicious.
Oh man, even the chips looked interesting. They weren't like normal, like that normal yellow corn tortilla chips that you see with nachos. They were something else.
Were they?
They looked like it in the picture.
Yeah, but yeah, normally over here at least, nachos are expensive as fuck. I know the place where I first worked, it was such a freaking rip scam. It was like £8 for just like a shitty paper box of nachos with cheese and jalapenos. It was so bad. But here, this was like a bowl for two for £5, I think it was. Oh,
that
was delicious.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I keep finding I'm posting my pictures of food more and more these days. It's pretty bad.
I
feel like a Twitter person.
I've fallen into a pretty bad habit of taking pictures every time, I cook something that comes. Oh, speaking of that, last night I did like I don't even know what to call this. I was making like my own little burritos because I had a bunch of ground beef left over. It was ground bison, and so
ground bison.
Yeah, bison's really good. It's like
I don't think we get that over here.
Well, yeah, probably not. But yeah, we have bison meat. It's more expensive than beef, but it tends to be a little bit leaner and higher in protein. Yeah, and so I had some left over. I'd used to make burgers early in the week, and so I browned it all up. Got some flour tortillas, ground up some cheese, put that in there with some onions and like some green sauce, and Just made myself some little mini burritos. They were delicious.
That does sound good. Yeah. God, we talk about a lot about food this week.
This has, yeah, and the thing is, normally I talk about food a lot when I'm hungry, but I just had breakfast.
Yeah, but no. Other than that, I've been playing a lot more Wii games. I can't remember if it's something I mentioned last week, but we've been on WarioWare.
You know what you didn't talk about at all this podcast that you said you were going to?
Yeah, I know.
All right,
but I was like, maybe I should, because I feel like every week or every other week, I'm being a bit of an asshole. But I say these things. Okay, so the continuing strife and struggle of getting Alicia to play computer games continues. This week we were playing Super Mario Galaxy. I'm sure it's a fan favourite. A lot of people know it and love it. And God help me, I'm sorry, sweetie, for shouting. Like at the time, that was tough to watch. I gotta admit. And trying to direct someone in a 3D world is very tough. I mean, God knows, Kaiser's just as bad. And I shout left and he turns right.
I just don't know left from right.
But yes, trying to teach someone how to wall jump and how to stomp on a Goomba or spin attack, and I was having a small mental breakdown. But yes, other than that, Mario Galaxy, generally pretty fun. WarioWare, a lot of fun.
WarioWare is an amazing
love
game.
WarioWare.
Yeah, I love WarioWare.
It's such a... You'd think on the face of it that I would hate that game because it's kind of... I don't want to say it's toilet humour. It's just very childlike in appearance.
Yeah, but it's more like it's kind of like a party game, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the kind of thing where it's best played when everyone in the room is roaringly drunk and can't stop giggling. It's that kind of, it doesn't. No one actually cares. I mean, you can get competitive over it for sure.
But yeah, it's just something silly and goofy to play, to keep the party going.
But no one gets frustrated if you lose, kind of thing.
Yeah, I have I don't have the one for the Wii. I have a Wii U. I'm like one of the 10 people on Earth that actually bought one. But there's a WarioWare version of that, and you know how it has like the tablet. I use it uses that, so the tablet is part of the the Wario. They do a good job using that tablet to be part of the whole party game experience.
But yeah, a lot of fun. Played through that. Then we also did LEDs, or LEDs as the game says it.
LEDs?
Yeah, you walk around a house and you've got to catch these like little electric blobs which hide in items and run away from you, and slowly you get more power and you can lift larger objects and open new doors. Incredibly difficult, I will say.
Interesting.
It's quite a fun game. But yeah, that's just these are old Wii memories.
So the LEDs or whatever you... How's it spelled? Is it like LED, like the light bulb?
No, so it's spelled ELEEDEES, I think. But yeah, I think the game is like, we've got to make it slightly less obvious, so they pronounce it LEDs.
This is...
Yes, the pun is obvious.
God. Alright, so we're coming up on the end of this, right? We're near the end of the podcast. This is way too happy and wholesome an ending, so I'm going to talk about something that annoyed the fuck out of me.
God.
To end us.
Go on.
So that book series that I was talking about in segment 2, I don't know who was in charge of directing the people reading in the second book, but that person is a dumbass and needs to be slapped. because
for the sake of those who are listening to this on a different day, could you remind us what the title of the book is?
So the book series is called The Formic Wars. The second book in the series is called Earth Afire. The thing that I'm talking about is, so acronyms, right? There's maybe a wide array of ways you can pronounce things, right? So, but some things are fairly well established. You like a light bulb that is L.E.D is pronounced LED. People don't say a LED; they say LED. Some things are a little bit more ambiguous. You can say ASAP or ASAP. Those are kind of interchangeable.
Right.
So this is, again, being in a sci-fi book, some of the soldiers have a display on their helmets that gives them vital tactical information. Now,
a heads-up display.
Yeah, exactly. And how would you pronounce that as an acronym?
HUD.
A HUD, exactly. I'm listening to it in audiobook format, and every single time in the first book they pronounce it right. They say HUD when they're talking about it. Heads up display and HUD. That's it.
Yeah.
You either say the whole
We
thing
are
or
nerds,
HUD.
though, bear in mind.
But in the second book, my problem is they got it right in the first book. In the second book, every single person, he looked at his HUD, and I'm like,
I say that. I was trying to work out how they could say HUD right. I was like, are they going like, that he looked at his hood?
No, that would be forgivable. This was just every time HUD. They got it right in the first book, and then they're spelling it out in the second one. No one says HUD. It's a fucking HUD.
Damn.
It got under my skin way more than it should have.
It sounds like it. But I can imagine that does get probably a bit repetitive. When I was reading the Necronomicon, the famous cult book, right?
Yeah.
There's a particular set of words. You see it with a few book series, actually. A particular set of words that you hear slightly too often. And for the Necronomicon, it was to describe something as cyclopean.
Mm-hmm.
So a cyclopean pillar, for example.
Yeah.
Which I feel like it's one of those things where the first thing you write, you're like, oh, that sounds really cool. That sounds mysterious and fancy.
Then you realize they just found one cool word and can't stop using it.
Yeah, they keep using it, and I'm like, okay. I literally don't know what this pillar looks like anymore because it looks like every other pillar in the fucking universe.
Are you familiar with oh god, what the hell is that called? Just waffle for a minute. I gotta look this up because I want to get it right.
Yeah, the other one I remember hearing like that kind of thing from is which book? It was I think it was the Ben Elton books, and he had a very particular preference where it came to certain people, and so you'd see the same kind of person in like all of the books, and so until it became just a point where you're just waiting for the character to prop up in the book.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, I don't know, a bit fourth wall breaking for me a little bit.
I found what I was looking up. Have you heard of the short story The Eye of Argon?
No.
Okay, I know what segment 3 is going to be next week if we don't have a better thing. We are going to read through this beforehand and then discuss. Or maybe we'll just read it live during the...
How long is it?
Maybe like 20 pages.
Okay.
Anyway, I think it's better. There's a game you play with it. So to give perspective, there's don't look this up in the coming week, because I think what we'll do with segment 3, if we don't have a better idea, is to play this game. The game is you have to read through the story, and every time you laugh, you switch, and the other person starts reading.
Okay.
And it's best done if you've never read the story before. For me, it's been years, so hopefully it'll have that kind of an effect. Essentially,
the problem is, guys, I'm very competitive, so I'm going to try my damnedest not to laugh, and it's going to sound really boring.
That's fine. That's fine. It won't sound boring, trust me.
Gotcha.
But to give you a brief summary, not of the story, but of the background behind it and of what the game is. the story was written by some kid and submitted to a sci-fi magazine back in maybe the 70s or 80s or something like that. Very few copies of it still remain. Somebody managed to find it, an original copy in an original magazine, and made up this game years and years ago, and now it's on the internet. Essentially, it's just... And it's sad because this was written by a guy probably when he was like 16 years old. It was maybe like just him essentially fan fiction. But it follows like this barbarian who goes quest. It's like a D&D fan fiction story. The problem was that the guy who wrote it clearly had a thesaurus. And he focused on one word in particular he really liked was Stygian. And he uses that word relentlessly in the short story. It comes up like every few seconds. But the rules of the game are simple. You read and you trade off with whoever else is reading. It could be done with a group or just two people. You trade off every single time you come across... single time a chapter ends, or you screw up because you laugh or... just read something ridiculous and go like, what? Or something like that. Anytime you have to stop because of some kind of like reaction to the story.
Okay, is the grammar correct? Because
no,
the grammar could... Oh, it's not. Okay, that's where I'm going to fall off.
The grammar's, for the most part, it's correct, but every now and again there's spelling mistakes, there's occasional grammar mistakes. It's not like it was written by a second language. It was written by an English speaker. So you won't have to worry about that too much. But
okay, sounds like a fun thing.
It is a fun thing, and it's the first idea I've had for the third segment that I think will actually be really entertaining. But yeah, Stygian. It's a word that comes up constantly when you're talking about Cyclopean. That was what I was thinking of, was this short story.
Yeah, Stygian. In fact, I might even... No, it can't be Stygian. I don't know. But yeah, I've definitely heard Stygian before, but I can't think of where.
It's
yeah, no. Sorry.
Classic dark medieval fantasy word.
Yeah. It definitely sounds it. When you mentioned fanfiction, I was like, oh, maybe we should do like a fanfiction part 3 at some point.
Oh my
Just
God.
the most batshit crazy ones we can find.
That would be fun too, actually.
It would.
Oh man. All right. Well, you know what? We're actually over by quite a bit, but we stayed to time for most of this episode, so I think we can wrap it up there. Any final thoughts before I do an outro?
I think this has been a very I would describe this podcast as Stygian in this aspect, and
not Cyclopean.
Yep, Cyclopean. Honestly, I can't think of a single fucking thing that we talked about today.
Well, it'll be more incentive for you to listen back.
Indeedles.
All right, this is the end of the podcast. Thank you, everyone, for listening, if indeed you still are at the end of this.
I'll help you. Today was a weird one.
It was, but I think we covered some interesting topics.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll come back next week and listen to segment 3 where we play this game with the Eye of Argon. But until then...
Oh shit, no, okay, sorry, go on, finish.
God damn it. Until then, thanks for listening.
Have a good week.